You were never lacking confidence. It was never missing. It was only covered by noise, by pressure, by expectations that were never yours to carry. And once you see that clearly, confidence stops being something you chase. It stops being a destination. It stops being a performance. It stops being something you postpone for someday. Confidence isn't built. It's uncovered. Listen carefully. Confidence doesn't come from becoming louder, faster, or tougher. It comes from something far quieter. Something steady. Something you already have. And in the next few minutes, you're not going to be asked to convince yourself of anything. You're going to recognize something. Not imagine it. Not force it. Not pretend. Just notice what was already there, before the world told you otherwise. Stay with me. This will be worth your time, wherever you are right now. Whether you're listening actively, resting, walking, or simply letting this play softly in the background. There is nothing you need to prepare for. No mindset to fix. No mood to change. No role to step into. You are allowed to arrive exactly as you are. There is a story that almost no one is told. It's about a person who believed confidence was something other people were born with. They looked around and assumed others had access to a secret they missed. They believed confidence lived in achievements, approval, or certainty. So they tried to earn it. They tried harder. They learned more. They rehearsed conversations in their head. They compared themselves endlessly, often without realizing it. They waited for the moment when they would finally feel ready. Ready to speak. Ready to act. Ready to take up space without second guessing. But that moment never came. Each step forward seemed to reveal another requirement. Another standard. Another reason to wait. And over time, something quiet but painful settled in. The belief that confidence was always just out of reach. One day, exhausted in a way that sleep didn't fix, they stopped trying. Not dramatically. Not as a decision. Just, quietly. And something unexpected happened. In the absence of effort, they noticed how loud the noise had been. Judgments. Old memories replaying themselves. Other people's expectations sitting where their own voice should have been. Inner conversations that were never kind, never fair, never finished. And for the first time, they saw it clearly. Confidence was never missing. It had been buried. Buried under voices that weren't theirs. Buried under rules they never agreed to. Buried under the belief that they needed to become someone else first. Confidence wasn't something to be built. It was something to be uncovered. As you listen now, notice the part of you that is simply aware. The part that listens without effort. The part that notices thoughts come and go. That part has never doubted itself. It doesn't need approval. It doesn't rush. It is steady. And that steadiness is the foundation of real self-esteem. Most people think self-esteem means feeling good about yourself. But that's not true. Feelings change. Confidence that depends on mood doesn't last. Self-esteem is something quieter. It's knowing you are allowed to exist as you are. Even on days when you don't feel impressive, productive, or certain. Confidence is not loud. It doesn't interrupt. It doesn't prove. It shows up in subtle ways. Calm decisions. Clear boundaries. The ability to stand without apology. It shows up when you pause instead of rushing to explain. When you choose clarity over approval. When you allow silence to do its work. And you already know how this feels. Think of a moment, any moment. When you didn't overthink. Didn't shrink. Didn't perform. That was confidence. Not added. Not learned. Remembered. Let your attention rest gently. No special breathing. No special posture. Just notice the space around you. Notice how your body supports itself without instruction. You don't tell your heart how to beat. You don't tell your lungs how to work. Confidence works the same way. It's natural when you stop interfering. The person in our story eventually noticed something subtle but powerful. Every time they tried to be confident, they were quietly telling themselves they were not enough yet. That confidence lived in the future. That they needed to earn the right to feel steady. So they stopped trying. Instead, they practiced something simpler. Self-respect. They spoke more slowly, not to impress, but to listen to themselves. They chose honesty over approval. They allowed pauses instead of filling space. They listened to their own signals without arguing. And confidence arrived quietly. Like a sunrise you don't rush. Like light that appears when you stop pulling the curtains closed. You do not need to become someone else. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken. You are becoming more aligned. And alignment feels like less self-attack, and more clarity, fewer explanations, stronger inner yes and no. This is real self-esteem. Not the kind that needs attention. The kind that holds you steady when no one is watching. Let these land gently. I respect myself, even when no one is watching. I trust my timing. I am comfortable being seen and heard. I stand calmly in who I am. I move forward with confidence that feels natural and steady. Notice how nothing dramatic happened. No pressure. No pushing. No hype. Just a quiet return to yourself. This is the kind of confidence that lasts. Because it doesn't depend on effort. You can carry this feeling into the rest of your day, or let it sit quietly in the background of your awareness. Either way, it stays with you. You are doing better than you think. And you are more confident than you were ever told to believe. If this is already helping you feel more centered, take one small second to like this video. It helps this message reach people who need it. And if you'd like more stories like this, calm, grounding, and genuinely useful, subscribe and share your experience in the comments. Now, let's continue. Before we close, let's gather what you've just experienced as something practical you can live with. Because uncovering confidence is not a single moment. It's a way of relating to yourself over time. Here is the essence of what this story has been showing you. Confidence does not grow by adding more effort. It grows by removing what doesn't belong. Removing constant self-correction. Removing the habit of arguing with your own feelings. Removing the belief that you must earn your right to feel steady. And this matters, because real life does not happen in silence. Most people don't lose confidence in big moments. They lose it in small, repeated ways. When they rush to explain themselves. When they ignore their own discomfort to keep peace. When they compare their inside to someone else's outside. When they delay action because they don't feel ready yet. And when you begin uncovering confidence, you may notice something uncomfortable at first. Old habits don't disappear quietly. Your mind may try to pull you back into overthinking, self-doubt, rehearsing conversations, seeking reassurance. This does not mean you're failing. It means you're becoming aware. When making decisions, choose the option that feels clear, not the one that looks impressive. Confidence is often quiet clarity, not certainty. When speaking, allow pauses. Let silence exist without filling it. This teaches your nervous system that you are safe without performing. When you feel the urge to explain yourself, ask one simple question. Is this explanation coming from clarity or fear? If it's fear, you're allowed to stop. Long-term confidence is not built by always feeling strong. It's built by not abandoning yourself when you don't. On difficult days, respect your limits. Reduce unnecessary effort. Keep your inner tone neutral, not critical. Resilience grows when you respond to yourself the way you would to someone you trust. You don't rush them. You don't shame them. You stay steady. And each time you do this, something important happens. Your system learns that confidence does not disappear under pressure. It adapts. If you remember just 3 things from this story, let them be these. Pause before reacting. Even 1 second creates space for confidence to surface. Choose self-respect over self-improvement. Respect stabilizes you. Improvement follows naturally. Return, don't restart. When you slip into old habits, you don't start over, you return. Over time, you may notice something subtle. You speak a little less, and mean more. You explain less, and feel clearer. You rush less, and feel more grounded. Not because you tried to change, but because you stopped covering what was already there. This is how confidence becomes part of your life. Not as a performance, but as a presence. Best wishes.